guys, today I want to tell you about some dice games. Dice are really cool because they can do all sorts of things. And here are some examples of what you could do with the dice. In Tenzi, we'll start with round 1. You're going to be rolling 4 ones in round 1. So as you can see, Mo has 2, I have 1. And as you roll, you're just trying to roll for that number. And Mo won with those 5 ones. And I only had 1. Now we can try again. Round 2 means we're rolling for 2s. So we start out again looking for those 2s. And so each round you're rolling for that number. In round 5, you're going to be rolling for 5s. Find them, set them aside. And as we still roll, think about this. This could be a game that you could play virtually with a friend. Maybe you each have your own set and you're rolling while you're on camera with each other. See how fast you can go against someone else. Or maybe play by yourself. Take all 10 of those dice and then time yourself and see how fast you can get that target number in a certain amount of time. As you can see, this round and this game, Moira pretty much won the entire time. So she gets it, and then she celebrates. In a multiplication smackdown, you need 5 dice each and a scratch piece of paper. You roll those dice, and then you try and align those dice to make numbers that you think will multiply to make the biggest product. So you see, we're both kind of trying to figure out which ones we want to place where. And as soon as we figure them out, we write them on the scratch piece of paper. Moira chose 661 times 43, and I chose 621 times 61. As you can see, we're sorting them out. And if you're struggling with the 2-digit number, remember many zoos, many animals, or multiply, 0, multiply, add. I'm on that second multiply right there. And after I figure out all of that multiplication, all I have to do is add. If you're not ready to do a 2-digit by 3-digit multiplication, you could also make this an addition or subtraction or division kind of game. So don't just limit yourself to the multiplication. Try other ways as well. And over the mountain, you only need 3 dice each. And as you can see, we have our mountains up at the top, listing our numbers 1 to 18. Because 1 is the lowest and 18 is the highest you can make with 3 dice. And as we're doing this, remember you can use multiplication, subtraction, addition, division, anything you need in order to make those numbers. So the first one I did was 6 plus 4 plus 5, which gave me 15. Mo did 6 plus 4 plus 2 to give her 12. And we started out with addition because that was the easiest. But as you go, you might see us switch things up. Maybe adding some subtraction. Maybe adding multiplication. Whatever you need to reach those numbers. This is another game that you could play virtually with a friend or play by yourself. Take your 3 dice, time yourself, see how long it takes you to cross off every number on your mountain. I sped us up to the end because it takes a little bit of time to play this game, but it's a really good one. And as you can see, I circled my numbers that I had left because I was starting to lose track of which ones I actually needed. And as we were playing this game, we were talking out loud, we were using our fingers, we were counting and thinking, so don't be afraid to count out loud and do whatever you need to make sure that you're getting those numbers. And as you can see, I just got my final number, I won, and Moira is a little upset about it. This is a great game to modify. We're doing it with multiplication, but if you're playing with a younger sibling or a younger cousin, you could turn it into addition and then you could play with them. And even if you already know it, having practice on your basic math facts is never a bad idea. The goal of Countdown is to roll your dice and then use all 5 of them to get to as close to 100 as possible. If you notice, after we rolled, Mo and I took a little bit of time to think about our dice before we started writing things down. If you want to just start testing out the numbers that you have in front of you, writing them down, seeing what products or totals you get, that's okay. Remember, you can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division to get as close as you want to that 100. Another thing that you might notice is Moira and I, as we use those numbers, we're actually setting those dice aside so that way we can figure out what dice we've used and what we haven't. But you can also tell that I think I'm about to win. This is another great game that you can play virtually with a friend or someone in person. Roll your 3 dice, add them up, and whatever your answer is, that's the question that you're going to answer to the group. It's a fun way to get to know the people that you're hanging out with. We played this game as a family, and one of the questions that one of my girls rolled was, would you rather get your driver's license or be driven around the rest of your life? And she chose to get her driver's license because she wanted to be independent. Do you agree? Disagree? Why? Stuck in the mud is where you roll all 5 of your dice, but if you roll a 5, you have to set it aside and re-roll. As you can see, we both rolled 2 5s on the first round, which means our second roll, we only had 3 dice. But neither of us rolled a 5 on that second round, which means we got to count them. And as you can see, on that next one, Moira rolled another 5, which means she didn't get to count. But I did, because I didn't roll a 5. And you keep going until both of you have rolled all of your dice and they've all rolled into a 5. Once you have both rolled all 5s, that's when you start adding up your scores. So Moira is adding up hers, and she had 18. When I add mine up, I start counting down, adding them together. If you cannot do these numbers in your head, go ahead and use the piece of paper to get that final answer. Or have your partner help you and see if you guys can work it out together. One of those games inspired you to try it out, testing your brain, seeing what you could do with it. And if you come up with a different dice game, maybe one that you made up or maybe one that you found somewhere, let me know. And remember, stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you later.